And now we have a presentation from Darren Gale, on the Milken Institute Top 10 Cities Rankings. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Got a hot mic tonight. So my name is Darren Gale. I'm your Economic Growth and Public Affairs Manager. And this evening, I have a privilege of presenting a little bit more information about the city, the Yuba City MSA, which includes the entire Yuba Center region, being ranked in the top 10 by the Milken Institute this past year. This just came out here a few weeks ago, and as a result of this, there were stories carried throughout the Sacramento news media, Channel 3, Channel 10, Channel 13, 31, and 40. Even found a newspaper in Southern California that talked about Yuba City being in the top 10. Chico's editorial, both of them were editorials in their newspapers, the Whittier newspaper down south and in Chico, both mentioned Yuba City in this effort. These are the top 10 communities of the top 10 best performing small cities across the nation. The numbers that you see up there, the first number, so Bend, Oregon, that's their MSA. They were ranked 1 this year, and then they were ranked number 1 last year, and then steady, meaning it was the same. As you go down St. George, they jumped 2 places, and as you get down to number 7, you will see that we actually jumped 38 spots. Washington below us jumped 68. In the report, they don't give you a lot of details. They don't provide us all the data to what goes behind what the Milken Institute does. But I can tell you there are many top 10 lists that we could buy into. We could buy into, you know, we're the best place to live, and some writer will write us, will write about our community. This is actually, they're taking true economic data that they have done for many, many years, and I was able to pull information all the way back to about 2003. But what they noticed is that Yuba City sees healthcare industry continuing to grow, helping the metro to become a top 10 performer. They also mentioned that tourism, manufacturing, and high-tech sectors were all reasons why some of these top 10 communities made the top 10. In the report, there was one mistake where they actually mentioned a casino in Colusa, where they really meant to mention the possible casino being built in Yuba County as a reason why there should be some continued improvements throughout the city of Yuba City. They mentioned the overall healthcare sector has almost 8,000 employees, which is obviously a huge sector for us. Before you is actually this. This is the entire rankings. So on the left-hand side are each of the areas, and on the top are the years. And the first line is the ranking. I'm going to switch to a different slide, and I break this down so hopefully people can see it a little bit easier. So again, starting in 2012, we were ranked 116th. We dropped down to 92. In 2013, 68, 26. Had a little bump last year where we bumped up to 45. And this year we were ranked number 7. They look at a variety of different issues. On this one, on the left-hand side, as you go below ranking, it shows 5-year job growth, 1-year job growth, 5-year wages and salary growth, and a 1-year wages and salary growth. And these are our actual rankings across the nation with small cities. This next one looks at the rest of them, which is one of the reasons why we saw such a big increase, which was growth in the high-tech industry. And one of the things that they look at is it actually looks at your percentage growth. So it doesn't compare us, let's say that we had to go against a city that was near San Jose that obviously has a significant amount of high tech. If they grew 200 jobs and we grew 200 jobs, they don't look at that as the same. They see it as we doubled our high tech jobs and they saw a small percentage increase. One of the employers that we were able to specifically go back and identify in the high tech industry was Sierra Gold Nurseries. Sierra Gold had just a little under 300 employees less than 6 years ago, and today they have 500. And of those new 200 jobs, 75 of them are actually in a lab, and another 100 are supportive of the lab efforts. So those were all seen as high-tech jobs. Also, there were some jobs in ag manufacturing, in design that we believe that we can point directly to that demonstrated our increase. So, what does this mean? Number one, we need to tell our story. The Yuba Center region has ranked in the top 10. It is called the Yuba City MSA. Some people have kind of complained like, well, hey, why don't you guys call it the Yuba Center MSA? Well, I remember there was many years ago that there was this ranking that had Yuba City last. None of the other communities were like stepping up, on board saying, hey, we're part of that group. That's Yuba City. We're someone else. But when it says Yuba City MSA, it is the entire Yuba Center region, just like it was many years ago. I won't mention the ranking or what it was about because it doesn't matter. We are a top 10 ranked small community by the Milken Institute. And it's something we need to celebrate. And we're working with the other jurisdictions to figure out how best we can promote this, how best we can promote it internally, possibly on our emails, even having a little tagline that says, ranked top 10 by the Milken Institute. So it's very exciting. One of the questions that was asked, actually not one, every single person asked this question: what is your community doing to see a business increase? And I believe that this is a true statement, which is we get out of their way. The city council and many of the other elected bodies throughout the region does our best. Although we are a regulatory body, we do our best to allow businesses to do what they do best, to employ folks, to be entrepreneurs, and to grow their businesses. Another really exciting part about this whole study is we believe the growth came from existing businesses. The Economic Development Commission and the City Council has mentioned our goal. Our goal is to increase one job for every single business license that we have over a 5-year period. We have over 2,500 business licenses, and we want to see each one of those local businesses grow. As they grow, those people usually live here, the business owners live here, and they invest in our community events. So again, it's my pleasure to talk to you a little bit about this. If you have any additional questions, I can answer them this evening. And if you have any ideas throughout the year, please let me know so we can promote this and make sure that people understand that Yuba City is open for business and we want to see some new jobs come.
Thank you, Darren.
Through the mayor?
Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed, Darren, that we have some things in the pipeline that are actually have been voted on in a somewhat or approved by at least the Planning Commission. So saying that, what is our outlook for the next couple of years along the same lines that the Milken has looked at, since, we do know there are some pretty nice looking changes coming forward the next year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. So as I look at their rankings, the one that I see that will probably, that our numbers will increase will probably be in what they call their high-tech GDP location quotient over 1. We were ranked number 6. And we believe that occurred because of the jobs with Sierra Gold Nurseries. Right now, we don't know of a lot of high-tech businesses like Sierra Gold that's increasing significantly and doubling their employment. But we have some additional healthcare moving forward with Adventist coming to the community. We know that we'll see additional jobs there. They're stating that they're going to bring more services with the new drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. I believe it'll demonstrate next year that these numbers will continue to be good. I cannot project exactly where we'll be. Knock on wood, we'll continue to grow. Some of these numbers are 5 years, so it's not just what's happening next year. It's what's happened for the past 4 years. But we have seen growth in a number of businesses, and it's very exciting to see.
I can say personally that working towards getting the policies in place that businesses can best come to our community and expand, and then getting out of the way is definitely a goal that we have had at least the last 3 years. this council has been very tuned in on that, and I know that they seem to feel the same way that I do on this, is continue getting out of the way once we see everything moving forward and say, be successful, and helping them along.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
To the mayor. Darren, you asked a couple of the questions like, what can be done? Well, I think we need to advance and knock on the door of Bend and Redmond. They don't have anything that we don't currently have except for a view of Mount Bachelor and a couple other things, but they're high desert and it's cold there. So I think just the whole California approach will help us, really get up and start knocking on the door of that community. And if we can get in right behind them, I think we're in a great spot. But I really think that the innovative processes that go on here at Yuba City and within our business community will continue to help advance where we stand in different rankings, whether it be this one or others. And I really encourage our community to get behind those innovative processes that are out there and understand that change, some of the change is good and is good for business and makes our community, our entire community, whether it be Yuba City, Marysville, Sutter County, Yuba County, Live Oak, or Wheatland, it makes us all better at what we do. So I'm encouraged by this and certainly appreciative of the ranking because it does put some notoriety behind Yuba City and the good work our overall community does.
Great. Thank you.
Councilmember Buckline, I will tell you my competitive nature. I've looked at all the other ones that are ahead of us. I've looked at all of our surrounding regions. For example, Napa, Chico. We beat out Chico. We beat out Napa. And I've looked at past year's numbers and data to try to figure out what can we do to continue on as it relates to our city efforts on economic development. Are there things that we can do that other communities are doing to improve upon ourselves? Because you're right. I think we have a lot more to offer than many of those cities that are above us.
Perfect. Thank you. Any others? Okay. Thanks, Darren.